How did our boy Jak go from a quiet introvert
But do it quickly before I change my mind!
to an angry dude out for revenge?
I'm gonna kill Praxis!
And let's not even start about Daxter.
Watching the hot babes prance around in their skimpy little bikinis. You know, just how they jiggle.
Actually, he's pretty consistent. Today, we're going through every Jak and Daxter game, from the unlikely pair's beginning to the later games that we might want to forget. We'll be running through the major story arcs by location and by mission, and meeting some memorable characters along the way. Here we go. Jak and Daxter, the Precursor Legacy, was the game that started it all, created and developed by Naughty Dog. In it, we meet the protagonists of the series, silent teenager Jak and his wisecracking smartass companion Daxter. Jak is a human, technically, but he's seriously like no human I've ever met, with these long elfish ears and trollish yellow-green hair. And that's his natural color too, unless he went all out and dyed his eyebrows. And Daxter is also a human. Okay, actually, he's a human who's been transformed into an orange otzel.
Something's cooking. Kinda smells like burnt otzel?
It's a mix between an otter and a weasel, with the personality to match. Jak might not talk, but that's okay. Daxter talks more than enough for him. The first game sets up the scenario: a world where an ancient race, known as the Precursors, left a whole bunch of mysterious structures. Who are the Precursors? Great question. What is the purpose of the artifacts that litter the world? Very good question. And why, oh why, won't young Jak listen to his mentor, Samos the Sage? All very good questions. We begin with a typical teenage act of rebellion. Jak and a super long-nosed unnamed friend wash up on the beach of Misty Island. Hey, where's Daxter? Don't worry, we'll piece that puzzle in a sec. In the meantime, these two are strictly forbidden from going here by the green sage, Samos. While exploring, they happen to see two sinister characters plotting an attack on their village. The two baddies are also looking for precursor artifacts, items left behind by the long-gone civilization. In their haste to get away, Jak's friend literally trips over one of these artifacts. The moment Jak touches it, it starts to glow red. The two are attacked by a monster, so Jak does the only thing he can think of. He chucks the glowing artifact at the enemy. This makes it explode and, unfortunately, throws Jak's long-nosed companion into a pool of black ooze. And when he comes back out, he's Daxter. Oh, well, that's one mystery solved. I, for one, think that he's much more charming as an otzel. Jak and Daxter return to Samos the Sage's house. Samos is a short green guy with a white beard and a literal tree log tied to his head with his hair. Or is it growing out of his head? Who knows? It doesn't matter. He seems completely unbothered by the fact that one of the teens in his care got turned into a weasel. He's also thrilled that Daxter finally took a bath, but not so thrilled that it was in a pool of dark eco. Eco is a powerful and strange substance in the world of Jak and Daxter. It can do all sorts of fun things like healing or attracting items to it and providing power. Dark eco, in particular, can warp, destroy, and mutilate. So Daxter could definitely have ended up much worse off. Samos can't help Daxter turn back to normal. Different sages around the world specialize in different eco colors. Samos is obviously the green sage. Only one sage has the knowledge of how to turn Daxter back to human form, Gull Acheron, but he lives pretty far away. Besides, no one's spoken to him in a really long time. Samos and the other sages in the world have teleporters, which are round glowing portals, and anyone could move between. But the other sage have their teleporters deactivated. It's like trying to call somebody's phone, but it's powered down. You can't walk to Gull either, because there's literal lava in the way. But you can fly over it with a special modified hover vehicle called a zoomer. Luckily, Samos' daughter, Kira, is working on the zoomer right now. What are the chances? All they need are some power cells, glowing orbs of power created by the precursors. These are so cool that Daxter spontaneously learns to breakdance. Bet he didn't know how to do that as a human. These power cells can be obtained as quest rewards, they can be traded for, or found just lying around the world. But before they can start collecting the power cells, Samos has to make sure that these teenagers aren't going to get themselves killed out there. And so with that, we're off to the tutorial level. Their first stop, Geyser Rock. Here we find out that Jak can become charged by different colors of eco. Blue eco lets him do cool stuff like break boxes or power up some precursor artifacts, open special doors, and run really fast. No relation to a certain blue hedgehog. Green eco heals and increases health. Red eco makes his attack stronger, and yellow eco lets Jak shoot projectiles at enemies. After thoroughly exploring Geyser Rock, the two make their graceful return back to Samos' house. That was a nice little mini adventure, but the pair is itching for the real deal. If they want to get to Gull and potentially change Daxter back to his human form, they'll need to collect enough power cells for Kira's machine. Jak and Daxter return to their home, Sandover Village. Here, they have friendly chats with the quirky locals.
Oh my, What a horribly sick little bird.
You don't look so good yourself, lady.
Most send them on various side quests to complete in return for a power cell. They'll also be collecting precursor orbs along the way. These look like floating bronze eggs, but they're apparently super powerful artifacts that no one's thought to pick up before for some reason. They can hand these eggs over to a precursor statue called an oracle, which has watched and waited for the true hero to return. Interesting. For a number of orbs, these statues will cough up a power cell too. From here, Jak and Daxter are free to explore the different areas in more or less any order. I'll choose one and just stick to it. Jak and Daxter enter the Forbidden Jungle, which wins the award for the place with the least inviting name ever. They explore the Jungle Temple by request from the mayor. The power to the whole village was cut, so something must be wrong with the eco flowing from the temple.
Did you pay the bill?
Yeah.
So, let me get this straight. The entire village runs entirely on the power from some ancient civilization that they don't even understand. Cool, so it's kind of like how we don't really know how airplanes work, but we don't really have a better alternative. That makes sense. Some weird machines have been using massive mirrors to redirect the blue eco that powers the village. All Jak has to do is break them, and voila, we have power again. Finally, they help out the local fisherman by essentially doing his job for him and catching 200 pounds of fish, something the fisherman is entirely too happy about. In return, the fisherman allows the two of us to use his boat to get back to where all the trouble started, Misty Island. Before embarking on their trip back to Misty Island, Jak and Daxter make a pit stop at Sentinel Beach. This isn't your dream beach vacation though. A cannon keeps throwing bombs at the beach and breaking stuff. There's also a mischievous pelican with a love for shiny things. Finally, there are the three massive stone structures that overlook the water. These look kinda like the Oracle statue had a baby with the real-world Egyptian Sphinx. It must be the Sentinels that the beach is named after. These seem really old and important, so obviously, the first thing that Jak and Daxter is going to do is try to break them. You bunch of hooligans. The last location in the Green Sage's realm is Misty Island. Jak and Daxter are already familiar with this one for obvious reasons. Here, their main task is to protect some dark eco-silos created by the Precursors. These are being attacked by lurkers, enemy creatures that have been causing Jak problems at every step of the way. They seem to be under instruction from the two baddies in the beginning to find all the ancient artifacts. Why they want to release the dark eco is unclear for now. After all those adventures, Jak and Daxter can finally get back to what they were actually trying to do. They finally collected enough power cells to upgrade Kira's special zoomer. Now they can pass through the flaming hot fire canyon that connects the Green Sage's and the Blue Sage's realms. The duo hop into the newly upgraded zoomer and safely fly over the mountain pass, where the floor is literal lava. Well, you know, safely-ish.
Hit 500 degrees and it's over.
Over? Like burning molten metal over?
Finally, they leave the Green Sage's realm and take their first steps into the realm of the Blue Sage. As soon as they get to Rock Village on the other side of the pass, Jak and Daxter turn on the blue teleporter. Samos and Kira pop in to see why the Blue Sage hasn't been answering his calls. Imagine your friends crawling through your phone, Samara style, to check in on you when you take too long to respond to a text. Anyway, the more pressing thing to note is that the village is in flames. A huge lurker is attacking Rock Village with flaming rocks. Alright, that's a good excuse for not getting back to me. It seems that even the mightiest soldier in Rock Village was unable to stop this monster.
Have you tried attacking him with your melodrama? 'Cause it's killing me!
Now, the way up to the monster is sealed by a 30-ton flaming rock. The Blue Sage was working on a levitation machine to move the rock out of the way, but then he disappeared. Guess who gets to look for more power cells to fuel the machine? Yeah, these two dudes. And the player. It's not just Rock Village that's in trouble. It seems that Eco Gone Wild has messed with all the surrounding areas. In the Precursor Basin, some plants have been corrupted by Black Eco and need to be healed with Green Eco. Jak and Daxter zoom around in this hovercraft-only spot, returning the plants to normal. Next, Jak and Daxter go to check out an ancient precursor structure just off the coast that's rumored to lead to a lost precursor city that's deep underwater. Before the whole village on fire thing, the Blue Sage was trying to bring the sunken city back to the surface. That smart magic-wielding sage couldn't do it, so obviously a teenager and a weasel might have better luck. Jak reaches the precursor structure where he finds an elevator that still works, somehow. Plus, it makes a great, well-disguised loading screen. Jak and Daxter descend underwater down into Rapture. The sunken precursor city. You know, no gods or kings, only men. It's not just the elevator that still works though. The whole city looks like someone left for vacation and forgot to turn out the lights. Jak actually manages to bring part of the city back to the surface. He also almost destroys the whole ocean by opening a dark eco silo.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Why was he doing this again? Oh, right, for science. Back in Rock Village, Jak and Daxter collect enough power cells to run the levitation machine, which lifts the rock that was blocking the way up the rock-throwing monster. Finally, they're ready to take on the huge monster at the top. Although Daxter tries to stay behind to protect Kira.
I think you're ready to handle that monster without me.
Oh, really heroic of you.
Right. After a tense fight on top of a pool of lava, Jak defeats the monster and saves the village. Nice.
But there's no time to celebrate.
The blue sage is still missing, and Daxter is still a small furry mammal. They still have a long way to go. The mountain pass might not be on fire, but the whole thing is rigged with explosives. Jak and Daxter have to beat the lurkers to the detonator at the end of the canyon, or everything is gonna blow up. So without wasting time, Jak zooms through the pass into a cave and destroys the detonator before the lurkers can use it. The blue sage's realm is saved. From here, it's on to the red sage. The red sage's lab is located in the middle of a volcanic crater, which seems more fitting for an evil genius than an all-knowing wise man. Another teleporter is activated, and Samos and Kira come tumbling in to join Jak and Daxter yet again. The red sage's lab is a hot mess. Stuff is lying broken all over the place, and it looks like there might have been a struggle. Hey, it's those two baddies from the beginning. The ones who were gathering an army of lurkers on Misty Island. Yeah, we remember them. And it seems that Samos knows them too. Surprise! The bad guy behind everything is Gull Acheron and his sister Maya. Yep, that Gull. The one that Jak and Daxter are trying to find. The only person who can turn Daxter back to his human form is also the main antagonist of the game. Now, who could have seen that one coming? Gull and Maya have been experimenting with Dark Eco. They used Dark Eco to make their army of lurkers, and now they want to flood the whole world with it. The siblings of the other sages locked up in their citadel. With the sages' help, they plan to open all the silos around the world and gain access to all the Dark Eco that they could ever want.
We've got big plans for you.
Okay. Why did that sound so suggestive? Anyway, they managed to open the silos. The whole world will be corrupted. Forget saving Daxter. They'll have to save the world. The fastest way to Gull and Maya's home base is through the lava tube, but the zoomer will get cooked in such high temperatures. The solution? You guessed it, more power cells. Jak and Daxter head to the spider cave.
Let me guess. There are spiders in the spider caves, right?
Yes, of course, these are spiders in the spider cave. More importantly, there are pools and crystals of concentrated Dark Eco in the spider cave. The two destroy the crystals to prevent lurkers from getting their grubby paws on them. They also find an ancient precursor robot in this cave. It's a mechanical marvel left behind by the precursors, and Gull and Maya's key to opening all the Dark Eco silos in the world. Looks like they couldn't quite get this robo guy out, but that hasn't stopped them from proceeding with their quest for world annihilation. After gathering enough power cells, again, Jak and Daxter return to Kira. It's time for another treacherous journey through lava. This time, they're heading through the appropriately named lava tube. Careful not to let the zoomer overheat. Those teleporters make so much more sense now. So much lava. No wonder the green sage couldn't just pop in for a visit when his friends stopped responding. Things get hot, but not too hot for our heroes to handle. Jak and Daxter ride the zoomer through the lava tube, out of the red sage's realm and into the realm of the yellow sage. The yellow sage's realm is located right in front of Gull and Maya's citadel. Jak activates the teleporter here too, but only Kira comes through.
Where's old short, green, and wrinkly?
This is terrible. Father is missing.
I mean, that shouldn't come as a surprise. Gull and Maya basically told them that they're going to kidnap the guy for big plans. In case you're not all caught up on the story, here's a brief recap. Jak has to enter Gull and Maya's citadel to rescue Samos and the other sages, stop the siblings' evil plan, and save the world. Should be easy enough.
And Jak, be careful.
Yeah, we will be.
Oh, yeah, and Daxter's there too, I guess. Jak and Daxter enter Gull and Maya's citadel, which is full of mechanical stuff, including their own precursor robot that they built out of scraps collected from around the world. They also immediately find an imprisoned Samos, who's so glad to see them. So here's the ultimate evil plan. Gull and Maya have kidnapped all the sages so their energy could power their makeshift robot. They could have just kidnapped Jak. He's been going around accidentally opening random silos this whole time. Jak and Daxter free Samos and the other sages. Together, they take down the shield protecting the robot, and the real battle can begin. There's only one problem.
I get to help the guy that turned me into a furball destroy the only person who can turn me back!
Right. This whole thing is technically about turning Daxter back into a human. Right now, though, saving the world does take priority. Even though the sages are free, the robots got enough of their powers already to activate, because it would have been lame to come all the way here and not fight the giant ancient robot. Come on. Jak fights the robot on top of a huge black silo door. As the fight goes on, the silo door slowly opens, and pillars to either side start to glow in different eco colors. They let out beams of light, which meet in the middle to create the ultimate opposite of the dark eco, light eco. Light eco is the key to stopping the robot and saving the world. But if they use it up, then Daxter might be stuck as an Ottsel forever. In the first show of kindness since the game started, Daxter makes the right call.
Okay, fine. We'll save the world.
Jak channels the white eco and goes Super Saiyan. He manages to take down the robot, which falls into the dark eco, along with Gull and Maya, who were inside piloting it. Oh, good riddance. On the flip side, Daxter is officially stuck as an Ottsel. The world is saved, for now. As the game nears its end, a giant precursor door appears before them. Jak opens it up and...
Wow! What is it?
And we don't get to see what's on the other side. But apparently it's incredible. Guess we'll find out in the next game, right? I bet the next game will begin in this incredible, glowing, beautiful place.
Finally, the last rift gate has been opened.
The next game, Jak II, starts in a horrible, dark, horrendous place. A brief opening cutscene shows how we get here. When the brilliant light at the end of the last game faded, our heroes discovered a big rift gate in a weird vehicle. They studied and activated both, accidentally unleashing a dark force onto the world.
You cannot hide from me, boy.
Oops. In a panic, Jak, Daxter, Samas, and Kira accidentally get launched into the rift. They wind up in a strange new land where Jak is immediately captured by soldiers called Crimson Guards. Daxter promises to save Jak real soon. The game actually begins 2 years later, when Daxter finally finds Jak strapped down in a dungeon laboratory within the cyberpunk Haven City. Took him long enough, man! The first thing you'll notice about this game is that they've dropped Daxter's name from the title, fact that Daxter doesn't hesitate to bring up whenever the player lets Jak get defeated.
This is what happens when they drop my name from the title.
Pretty rude. The second thing that you'll notice is that Jak can speak. Whoa. This was a decision made by the developers to show that this game is more mature. Well, this and Jak's grown-up goatee were in glow-up. Yeah, Jak's kinda in his angsty pre-adult phase. Strap in, because things are about to get a lot darker than the first game. Over the past 2 years, Jak has been getting experimented on by the mustachioed Baron Praxis. This man with a metal eye patch and nose is the corrupt leader of Haven City, the main bad guy of the game. The Baron is accompanied by his right-hand man, Commander Errol, who looks like he permanently has 2 black eyes. The two have been trying to create super soldiers through the Dark Warrior program. Using this program, they pump Jak full of dark eco and hope that he either gets stronger or just die. Win-win for them. Baron Praxis and Errol think their experiments have failed. Turns out, Jak just needed an annoying weasel to jumpstart his dark side.
Just let me figure out how to open the security locks for the chair so I can... Or, you can do it.
Yeah, it seems that all those experiments did actually work. Jak and Daxter escape the prison. That's right, Jak's back, and he's coming for Praxis. As soon as they're out, Jak assaults some poor old man with epic white hair named Core. Don't mind Jak, he's kind of forgotten how to socialize after 2 years of, getting tortured in prison. Crimson Guard soldiers arrive and try to arrest everybody. Jak transforms into Dark Jak, a stronger version of himself powered by Dark Eco. With his new power, Jak defeats the soldiers, saving Core and the silent green-haired kid that he's with. Wait, that kid looks kind of familiar. Nah, it's probably nothing. As thanks, Core tells Jak where to find some dude named The Shadow, the leader of an underground resistance group. This mysterious shadow will help Jak get back at Baron Praxis. And so, the reunited pair are off to the slums to ask for someone named Torn. Right, seems legit, totally. Now, unlike the previous game, Jak II is a much larger and less linear world. At that time, Grand Theft Auto was really big, so they took direct inspiration. Jak can explore the bustling metropolis of Haven City on foot or by Zoomer, by literally grabbing one out of the air, which is way more fun. The trade-off is that there's a constant police presence. Do anything suspicious, and you'll get guards tailing you like this is Grand Theft Zoomer. Despite this, Jak and Daxter find the slums easily enough. The rundown, poor part of town. They're greeted by Tess, a beautiful blonde woman, and Torn, an ex-Crimson Guard soldier with black markings radiating out from his forehead. Before Jak's allowed to join this resistance group called the Underground and fight against Baron Praxis, he does have to prove himself. Jak completes a couple of missions for Torn to show that he's really tough stuff, like stealing the Baron's banner and restoring water to the slums.
Don't say it. Don't even chuckle.
While Jak and Daxter are in the slums, they find a large Oracle statue. With the Oracle's help, Jak learns to control his dark powers in exchange for special gems from the skulls of metalheads. The half-mechanical, half-biological monsters replace the lurkers as the main enemies in this game. Haven City was actually built to keep the metalheads out, with a protective shield wall meant to keep the inhabitants safe. The Crimson Guard and Baron Praxis are at war against these metalheads, who constantly threaten to invade the city. One of Torn's missions sends Jak back into the Baron's fortress to blow up the Baron's supply of ammo. Man, he literally just escaped from there. Jak sneaks back into the fortress and discovers that the Crimson Guard are giving barrels of eco to the metalheads. Oh wait, Aren't the two supposed to be at war? Blowing up ammo inside a fortress is too easy for Daxter, apparently.
You know, so far, your gigs have been easier than stealing grass from a sleeping yakko.
For their next mission, Torn sends the duo out on a more challenging task: deliver a bag of eco to one of their contacts' crew. They find their target at his bar, the Hip Hog Saloon. Crew's a huge man with tiny legs dangling from a hovercraft chair. He's a smuggler, weapon seller, crime lord, and all-around unpleasant individual. Jak questions Crew about why the Baron is doing business with the metalheads. Instead of answering him, Crew gives Jak a weapon, the powerful morph gun. Now that Jak is armed and ready to rumble, Crew gives him a few jobs. He sends them outside the city walls with his big bodyguard Sig to hunt metalheads, and to the sewers to shoot down sentries. Amid these errands, Jak finally gets an answer to his previous question.
All I know is that the Baron cut a desperate deal with a metalhead leader.
The metalheads need eco, so the Baron supplies it. In return, they attack the city just enough to keep the people afraid and thankful for the Baron's protection. Wow, that is nefarious. Constantly fixing an issue that you caused and claiming to be really good at your job. Reminds me of somebody. But the city is running out of eco. If the conflict ends, Baron Praxis will be pushed out of power and the true ruler will be reinstated, whoever he is. Next, Crew sends Jak to his client at the racetrack. The client needs someone quick on the hovercraft to take on the black-eyed commander of the Crimson Guard, Errol, and Crew will just get a few tiny things if Jak wins.
We the racers hereby agree to give Crew all proceeds from race earnings, endorsement fees, broadcast royalties, syndication residuals, vehicle sponsorships, small appearance fees, talk show deals, clothing lines, all print rights including book, novella, comic, pamphlet, ticket tape, neon sign, and bathroom graffiti designs. Toy rights, shoe lines, mood rings, game rights. Game rights?
It's off to the races for Jak, though he seems more interested in the lady mechanic who's hiding behind a curtain. Wait a second, I've seen that lady before. It's obviously Kira. She's been busy since they all crash landed in Haven City working on a machine that'll bring them home. But first, Jak has some unfinished business with the Baron. Jak and Daxter return to Torn in the underground base. He informs them that one of the Baron's mining operations is under attack by metalheads.
That's not our problem.
It is our problem when the foreman's one of the underground's best informants.
Damn, Jak grumpy much? Anyway, Torn's informant at the mines is named Vin, and according to Torn, he's just barely important enough to save. Vin is a stereotypical nerdy scientist type, with suspenders and goggles to complete the look. He's a little jumpy. Jak and Daxter find him locked up in the mine's control room. Takes a while to convince him that they're here to save him, and once they do, he's far more grateful. Still, they manage to get Vin to safety. But Jak and Daxter aren't done rescuing Torn's buddies just yet. Another one of his informants, Ashlyn, needs some help. She's a high-ranking official from the Crimson Guard who's been stationed outside the city's walls. Torn hasn't heard from her, so he sends the duo to check on her. Turns out Torn's friend didn't need rescuing. The red-haired Ashlyn is a certified badass who can take care of herself. She also has the only correct response to Daxter's borderline harassment-level flirting.
Waiter! Foxhole for two!
Keep talking and I'll raise your voice a couple of octaves.
Yeah, 2003 was kind of a different time. Ignoring Daxter, Ashlyn informs Jak that Baron Praxis is planning to do something big. He's been sending the Crimson Guard out on suicide missions to find precursor artifacts. And all these artifacts are related to an ancient hero named Mar. He founded Haven City, the shield wall, the eco grid, and pretty much everything else keeping society running. With all this new information in mind, Jak decides it's time to pay the Baron a visit. He gets the elevator to the Baron's palace working. Well, Vin gets the elevator working. Then Jak and Daxter sneak in and spy on the Baron and Commander Errol. They overhear the Baron promising a hologram of the Metalhead's leader more eco by the end of the week. Errol is eager to lead a full assault on the Metalhead's nest, but Praxis holds him back. He's tried to attack the nest before, and it cost him the right side of his face. The Baron commands Errol to move forward with his plan to find some child who's the rightful heir to the throne. He's also obsessed with finding the Tomb of Mar. He wants Ashlyn on that, pronto.
But your daughter has not been agreeable.
Wait. Ashlyn is the Baron's daughter. No way. She's nothing like the Baron. Of course, Daxter chooses that moment to sneeze and give away their hiding spot. Jak and Daxter try to run, but the Baron catches up in his bulky, weirdly tentacled hovercraft. Jak defeats the Baron, but runs away with a promise to return and destroy Jak. With the Baron banished, Jak and Daxter return to the underground where Torn, Core, and the Weird Kid are waiting. The entire Crimson Guard is looking for Jak and Daxter, and Metalhead armies are approaching Haven City. Torn has a new mission for Jak. Metalheads have broken through the city's shield in the Dead City and are moving toward a place called the Sacred Site. There's a powerful energy to that place that's drawing the Metalheads in. This has happened before, and last time it didn't end too well.
Metalheads broke through the old city wall. We fought them, but then the Baron pulled back, leaving everyone outside the new barrier to die.
Only the Underground's leader, the Shadow, stayed behind and somehow stopped the attack. Now, Torn wants Jak to go out there and stop the metalheads from reaching the sacred site. Sounds like Torn's sending them to certain death. He really doesn't like them at all. In exchange for completing the mission, Torn implies that the Shadow might be willing to see them, maybe. With that, Jak and Daxter leave the relative safety of Haven City and head out into much more dangerous territory, the urban outskirts. Jak takes on the invading army outside the city. A few metalheads are no match for Jak's morph gun and Dark Jak powers. He easily takes out the enemies that have gotten into the city and protects the sacred site, which turns out to be Samos's hut? Something looks really wrong about it though. I don't know, the hut and its surroundings are all worn and broken down. There's only one potential explanation.
We're in the future, Dax. This horrible place is our world.
Uh-oh. Completely shook, the two return to the underground base to discover that the Shadow has finally decided to meet them.
Oh, no, not you!
Welcome to our humble underground movement.
A very young Samos greets Jak and Daxter. He has no idea who they are. Wait, I thought this was the future. Shouldn't he be ancient? And where's the Samos that they know? What the hell is going on? There are even more questions now. But before they can figure anything out, Samos sends them on a few more missions for the underground. One of them requires Jak and Daxter to escort the quiet kid to Core at a power station. The kid, turns out, might be the key to getting Baron Praxis out of power. This begins every gamer's favorite type of quest ever. Say it with me, an escort mission. In case you're not a gamer, this is complete sarcasm. This is the worst part of any video game. Escort missions suck, especially when you're escorting a squishy child who keeps running into Crimson Guard patrol. BioShock Infinite is the only game to do good escort missions. The whole game is kind of an escort mission. Everyone should just steal from BioShock Infinite. They managed to bring the kid to Core. Something's kind of fishy about Core. He seemed like a kind old man before, but now he's giving nefarious vibes. He says that on his expeditions to the Wasteland outside the city, he saw some awesome huge metalheads.
We saw a big one coming out of a rift once. He was ugly!
His reaction to Daxter dissing them feels weirdly personal. With the kid safely with Core, Jak and Daxter return to young Samos. He's hanging out with a blind oracle, Onin, and her ambiguously accented monkey-faced bird interpreter, Pecker. Samos and Pecker tell Jak that he has to find the Tomb of Mar. That's the mythical ancient hero's tomb that Baron Praxis is so obsessed with. Even if the Baron finds this, only Mar's true heir can open the tomb seal. Well, that's gotta be Jak, right? I mean, come on, that's how these games always go.
We believe the kid is the key.
Oh. According to a prophecy, the true heir of Mar must face the ancient oracle that rests in the Tomb of Mar. Then, he has to go through the test of manhood, which is probably not at all what it sounds like. Only then will he be able to unleash the power of the fabled Precursor Stone. The stone holds a huge amount of eco energy.
It can be used for great good or great evil.
Ooh, mystical. Jak really has to find the stone before the Baron. Jak collects the 3 pieces of an ancient key to form the Seal of Mar, a key that's supposed to show them the way to the tomb. Jak and Daxter arrive at No Man's Canyon. Jak then uses the key to activate the gate to the ancient light tower, which shines down on the site of Mar's tomb. The tomb is somewhere inside Haven City. It was right under the Baron's metallic nose this whole time. Jak, Daxter, Samos, Core, and the kid assemble at the entrance to Mar's tomb, revealed at long last.
This is the day I've long awaited, to finally hold the fabled Precursor Stone in my hands.
Ooh, okay dude, calm down. With the tomb open, they plan to send the tiny kid in to go up against the test of manhood, whatever that means. The oracle above the entrance speaks out, welcoming the heir of Mar to the tomb, declares the child too young to face the tests. Ah, the tests of manhood, duh. At least the stone statue has some common sense. As the gate begins to close, Jak rushes in, pulling Daxter with him. The Tomb of Mar turns out to be a massive underground temple full of test chambers. Jak overcomes several challenges, like taking out a room full of enemies without using weapons, and bypassing pools of electrified water. Yeah, there's no way that kid could have done that. At the end of the challenge stands a huge statue with a glowing green stone in its chest. The statue finally reveals what happened to wipe the precursors off the face of the planet. They were destroyed by the Huraquan, now known as Metalheads. The Metalheads now roam the planet looking for more of the precursors' ancient power. The statue welcomes Jak as the fabled warrior destined to receive the Precursor Stone and keep Mar's legacy alive. But before he can claim the Precursor Stone, Baron Praxis flies in on his decked-out hovercraft. Baron Praxis tries to pull the Precursor Stone out from the statue, which it doesn't like one bit.
Abomination. The Precursor Stone was not meant for you.
Jak fights Praxis again, this time going up against the stone's immense power. He manages to destroy most of the Baron's hovercraft, but he fails to stop the Baron entirely. Once again, the Baron escapes, and this time he has the incredible powerful Precursor Stone in his grasp. Defeated, Jak and Daxter return to the underground, where Torn waits for them. Samos and Tess have been taken prisoner by the Baron, and the Precursor Stone is gone. How did the Baron even know that they were making a move for the stone? Well, it turns out that Torn sold them out. Wait, don't be mad at him yet, because he had a really good reason.
The Baron threatened to kill Ashlyn for spying. His own daughter. I couldn't risk that, even for the underground.
Kinda sucks, but, you can see where he's coming from. Good news is, Torn has a plan to get their friends and the stone back. They're gonna take on the fortress, or die trying. With Torn and Vin's help, Jak and Daxter infiltrate the fortress and find the underground operatives being held captive there. They free Tess, Samos, and Samos. Wait, nope. You are not seeing double, folks. Both the young and the old Samos are here. Again, what the hell is going on? Samos is just as grumpy and mean to himself as he is to everybody around him. Well, I guess that hasn't really changed. The two start arguing about what they need to do next. Should they rescue the kid or find the Baron? Actually, the first priority is to get the hell out of the Baron's fortress. Then they can figure out their next course of action. Mars' tomb is behind them now. It's time to put an end to the Baron and the Metalheads. This time for good. When they return to Haven City, old Samos sends them to his hut in Dead Town to retrieve a life seed. He's been keeping this a secret since before they went through the rift into the future. It's a special powerful seed from a magical tree, and its power seems to be what's been attracting the Metalheads. Old Samos tells Jak and Daxter that the seed will give the young Samos his sagely powers. So by bringing the life seed to young Samos, they activate his powers and turn him into a sage.
And you never thanked us?
Once the mystical Onin activates the life seed, Jak and Daxter bring it to young Samos in the nearby forest. Jak protects Samos from a Crimson Guard attack, while Samos talks to the plants, I guess. I don't know. Jak fends off the soldiers, and young Samos reveals that the life seed showed him a horrible premonition.
The Baron is planning to destroy the Precursor Stone.
Baron Praxis believes that if he can crack the stone open, the energy it releases will destroy all the Metalheads, and he's right. The only problem is the power will be so great that it'll destroy the entire world too. Okay, but why is this the face that Daxter's making when he finds out that the world is gonna end? You know what? Never mind. Come on, we've all spaced out in class before. You do you, Dax. Jak and Daxter return to Kira at the racetracks, where she shows them the mission that she's been working on. It's a Rift Rider, a replica of the machine that sent them flying into the future. In the meantime, Jak needs to get close to the Baron. The best way to do this is by winning the racing championship against Commander Errol. The winner gets a tour of the palace and a personal meet and greet with Baron Praxis, and Jak has some choice words that he would like to have with the Baron, with his fists. Jak faces off against Commander Errol, who's taking this whole race a bit too seriously. But of course, Jak ends up winning. After all, this game is named after Jak, not Errol. The Baron comes down to check out the new winner and recognizes Jak immediately. He throws a tantrum, telling Jak to give up because everything is mine.
This city is mine. These lives are mine. This war is mine.
What an absolute child. Escaping from Baron Praxis and his men is made accidentally much easier by Errol, who's an extremely sore loser. He refuses to accept that Jak defeated him in the race, and he tries to run Jak down, but he misses, causing an explosion of dark eco and him probably dying in the process. This buys Jak just enough time to get away with Daxter. They do not get very far though. As they flee from the racetrack, they're intercepted by Ashlyn. She thinks that Jak has been sabotaging her father's war against the Metalheads. Apparently, she has no idea that her dad's up to some nefarious stuff behind the scenes. It takes some convincing and some backup from Vin, but finally, Ashlyn believes that her father's plan to destroy the Metalheads and the whole world is a little flawed. Now that she's back on their side, Ashlyn tells Jak and Daxter that the Baron is meeting Crew in some secret weapon factory near the dig. She gives Jak her top-level security pass. Jak finds Crew working on a special weapon at the weapons factory, a piercer bomb with the power to crack open the Precursor Stone. Crew's got a thing for weapons.
I love weapons. I love how they look, how they feel, even how they smell.
He tells Jak that Mar once built a powerful weapon to destroy the Metalhead's nest once and for all, but the hero apparently disappeared before he actually got to use it. The Baron's plan is to hide the Precursor Stone in the next Metalhead's eco shipment. Then they can deploy the bomb on the nest and destroy all the Metalheads and the rest of the world. It's kind of like using dynamite to take down a wasp's nest. Sure, it might work, but it seems like a little bit of overkill. Jak and Crew engage in a fight, which ends with Crew grounded for good. As his last act, Crew activates the bomb, dooming him along with Jak and Daxter. But then Ashlyn drops drops in with their escape ride, even though she totally said that she wouldn't help them get out. No, she actually cares. They fly away as the whole weapons factory and the dig around it explode in a flash of light. Jak and Daxter find out what Crew meant when he said he sold the whole city out. Before he went to the weapons factory, he sent his reluctant bodyguard Sig to unlock the underport, a series of underground passages running under Haven City. Sig had no idea that this would let the metalheads into the city. Jak and Daxter find Sig trying to fight off the invaders and join in on the battle. They fight off the last of the invading metalheads, or they think they do.
Nothing'll stop us, cause
Sig, no. Haven City is safe. For now, Jak and Daxter head outside the city to confront Praxis again. The two find the Baron at a nearby construction site, along with a bunch of Crimson Guards, and Core? What's he doing here? Core drops the old man act and transforms into a metalhead monster. Yeah, you heard right. Core, or rather, Metal Core, is the leader of the metalheads, and with the shield walls down thanks to Crew, he and his army are back at full power. Baron Praxis does something right for once. He tries to defend his city by attacking Metal Core. The Baron and his soldiers are knocked back, and with his dying words, Praxis tells Jak that he's the supreme weapon, created by the Baron's own hands. Maybe the Baron wasn't really evil, he was just blinded by his own desire to protect the city, no matter what? No, wait, no, he kidnapped and tortured people. He made deals with the enemy forces and kept his city at war to keep his power. He's evil. And if Jak fails, well, Praxis has a backup plan. The Baron presses a switch, and another bomb rises from the ground with a Precursor stone attached to it.
the first rule in making a bomb is to always make two.
Jak and Sig's efforts to stop the metalheads from getting in weren't enough. The metalhead invasion of Haven City has truly begun. The only right side is that while the metalheads are busy attacking the city, their nest is likely left unprotected. Jak and Daxter remove the Precursor stone from Praxis's bomb and find Mars' legendary weapon. Mars' weapon blasts a hole in the side of the metalhead's nest, and Jak and Daxter head in, reluctantly, in Daxter's case.
I'm right behind you.
Core waits at the deepest part of the nest. He thanks Jak for bringing him the Precursor stone and brings out the kid. Core reveals that the kid is dun dun dun, a young Jak. Yeah, are we surprised? Let's pretend we're surprised.
This is where you began, in the future.
But wait, how could old Jak come from the past, but young Jak be in the future? That doesn't make sense. Well, it turns out that Onin sent young Jak to the past to hide him and give him a chance to grow strong enough to face Core. I guess that explains why Samos was so sure that the loser teen who refused to listen to him would one day save the world. Could have just told him. Core has some more news for them. Old Jak has been corrupted, but young Jak, he's still pure. He has the power to use the stone to unleash the Precursor entity that apparently sleeps within it. Finally, Core has access to the Precursor egg, and he's in the mood for some omelets.
I will finally feed on the last Precursor life force.
Core tries to get the Precursor stone from Jak, and the final battle begins. Jak fights Metal Core, who hangs suspended over a hole in the nest. Jak beats the metalhead leader, who tries to fly into a nearby rift gate and explodes for some reason. Kira and both Samoses float into the nest, on a hot air balloon tied to a raft. They have the Rift Rider with them, all done and ready to take them home. Well, not everyone. Young Jak is sent back to the past with young Samos to watch over him. That way, he can grow older and fulfill his destiny, the one that old Jak completed today. Kira's Rift Rider will send them back to the past and eventually be the same machine they rediscover that sends them to the future.
It's based on what I remember from before.
Honey, the more you think about it, the more it hurts the head.
Daxter's right. Time travel is complicated. Now that everything's been resolved, there's only one thing left to do. Party! The gang meets up at Daxter's new digs, Crew's old saloon, which Daxter has taken over. Goodbye, Hip Hog Saloon. Hello, Naughty Otzel. The bar's new centerpiece is Metal Core's big creepy head, and Daxter has even found a girl who doesn't roll her eyes at his antics. Don't worry, Jak gets a girl too.
Hey, that's enough for you, lady.
Kind of. The bar even gets a visit from someone that they thought they'd never see again.
A metalhead!
Sig!
Sig! I knew that.
Yep, Sig somehow survived the fight with the giant metalhead insect and the fall. As the game ends, Samos, Jak, Daxter, and Sig chat outside the saloon. They hang out with the kid's pet dog creature, which is never seen again, and Sig hands Jak a huge key, which is also never mentioned again. Yeah, you may have to pull back your expectations a little bit for the next game. For all kind of the weirdness that this game had, the next one, it doesn't hold up quality-wise. Besides, Jak is totally ready to settle down.
Oh no, I am done with adventure
Released just a year after Jak II, Jak III wraps up the game's overarching story, though many fans thought that it was a little rushed. This means some plot points don't quite work as well as they could have, like the key and the dog. What key and dog? Don't worry about it, they got lost somewhere between the two games. I'll do my best to make it all make sense. War is broken out in Haven City. Some leftover metalheads storm the palace in search of something, toppling the entire thing to the ground. On top of this, there's a new enemy to deal with, the friendly-sounding Crimson Guard Deathbots, or KG Deathbots. Caught between the robotic soldiers and the metallic enemies are the new and improved defenders of the city. These are led by Haven City's new governor, Ashlyn, and Commander Torn. And Jak? Because of his involvement with Crew and his terrifying dark powers, the people of Haven City blame him for their troubles. Our boy Jak has been banished to the Wasteland. No more zooming around in a hovercraft. Now Jak has to use wheel-based vehicles like us regular non-futuristic folk. Lame. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's start at the beginning, with Jak getting exiled. Jak III opens with Jak getting dropped off in the barren wasteland. Ashlyn protests this decision, but the snooty-looking Count Viger outranks her, so what he says goes. She might be the new governor, but Viger speaks on behalf of the true leaders of Haven City, the Grand Council of Haven City, or just the Council. Viger seems to have something personal against Jak and his dark eco powers. Powers which, it's worth reminding, were forced onto him through torture for 2 years. Real classy, Viger. Daxter and Pecker are along for the ride to back Jak up. Before they leave Jak there, Ashlyn secretly hands him a tracker.
You just stay alive, you hear me? That's an order. Someone will find you, I promise.
Hopefully, they won't take 2 years like in the last game. At least this time, Daxter staying by his side from the beginning, along with Pecker. Jak and his two companions don't make it too far before they collapse from the exhaustion and the heat. Thanks to the tracking beacon that Ashlyn gave Jak, a man named Deimos finds the trio. Deimos brings Jak, Daxter, and Pecker to a small city called Spargus, where he's apparently the king. This is news to Jak, who didn't even know that there was a city outside of Haven. Spargus is less of a city and more like a camp made up of misfits in Haven City's exiled and banished. Deimos explains that if they want to live in Spargus, they'll have to prove themselves worthy in the arena. Jak and Daxter enter the arena to the sounds of a very familiar voice.
Let's hear it for Jak and his obnoxious talking animal!
Well, at least the bird brain is safe. Jak, on the other hand, has to fight for his right to stay in Spargus. He completes the arena training, which involves a mix of platforming and also fighting. During the trial, Jak reveals his dark eco powers. Unlike Viger, who thought Jak's powers was something to be scared of, Deimos realizes that he can actually use it. He gives Jak free passage in and out of the city, and 1 battle amulet. Earning just 2 more will give him citizenship to Spargus. On his way out of the arena, Jak is approached by a large balding man with an Australian accent and a biting sense of humor. This big snarky guy is Cleaver, or as he puts it himself,
the guy who runs this place, that's who.
Pretty cool intro, honestly. Cleaver has a few tasks for a strong warrior like Jak, starting with the most stereotypical RPG starting quest ever. Let's catch some rats. Those are more like tiny dinosaur kangaroo hybrids, but it's the same thing. Jak does this, and in return, Cleaver gives Jak his very own all-terrain buggy to use outside of the city. It's no zoomer, but it beats walking. Jak and Daxter spend some time exploring Spargus. They come across a group of monks in strange clothing, with their faces partially covered in geometric white paint. They stand around a strange dark artifact, seemingly worshipping it. One monk named Seam already has it in for Jak.
The arena shows all, Dark One. Hate consumes your eyes.
Come on, dude, you just met. Where's the kumbaya? Seam warns Jak that the darkness will consume him just as it consumed the Precursors. Ah, so it's those guys again. The weird black artifact here is part of a larger machine that fell on a nearby volcano. Kinda looks like part of a satellite? I don't know. The monk warns of ill tidings, in the literal end of the world or something, but we've heard that spiel before.
I think you've been out in the sun a little too long.
Seam tells Jak that he can't possibly understand the dark powers at work here, but Jak is literally half darkness. He swings his arm out and accidentally activates the weird artifact. This reveals a screen with a minigame because the all-powerful ancient beings apparently loved their mobile games. Completing the minigame reveals a dark eco crystal, which Seam says were used to power ancient Precursor tech. As they speak, the satellite picks up some coordinates, wriggles out of the ground, shines out some light beams, and explodes in a puff of dark smoke. Seam calls Jak a hero, but says even he can't save them from the darkness at work here.
I'm the real hero here. You can call me Orange Lightning.
Instead of dismissing this nonsense, Seam takes him weirdly very seriously. Clearly, Jak and Daxter aren't welcome with the monks, so they go to make good on Cleaver's promise. He shows them this awesome desert buggy that reveals their actual new ride. Looks like it's being held together by duct tape and wishful thinking. Man, I miss the zoomers. Cleaver proposes a little race. If Jak wins, he gets to keep the vehicle for as long as he lives. And if he wins,
I'd say that yappy rodent of yours is a bit bony, but skinned and buttered, he'd make a nice treat.
No deal. Jak would never play with his friend's life, or so you'd think. Bro is so confident of winning, doesn't even think twice. I don't know if I'd call him a Chad or a big dummy. Good news is, Jak's a racing champion back in Haven City, so he wins the race without a problem. And the little vehicle is his to keep. This opens up the Wastelands to exploration. Now that he has some wheels, Deimos sends Jak to retrieve precursor artifacts scattered around the wasteland. Jak has to battle dangerous desert storms to get them, but he emerges with artifacts in hand. Since he's already in a racing mood, Jak also takes on Seam and her monks in a race. She explains that the monks are sworn to learn and protect the secrets of the precursors, which would make her a great ally, except she really does not like Jak. Seam also reveals that there is a potentially catastrophic event in the works. A celestial body she calls the Daystar is getting closer and closer to the planet. So the apocalypse is approaching? You better get your shit together, Jak. Deimos calls Jak back to the arena to earn his second battle amulet and bring him one step closer to becoming a Spargus citizen. Deimos gets weirdly sentimental about Jak's victory.
You did very well, Jak. You make me proud.
Shortly after, Jak coincidentally points out that he didn't know his father. I'm sure that has no bearing on the game's plot at all. Jak and Daxter run around Spargus and its outskirts, completing various missions for Cleaver and Deimos. And then it's time to compete for another battle amulet. This time, when he's thrown into the arena, his opposite is Sig. That's horrible news, actually. There can only be one winner in the arena, and Sig plays to win. Sig hesitates and puts his weapon down. Deimos throws a tantrum and gives the two a lecture about the sanctity of the arena. He would kill them both, but Sig is actually a spy for Deimos. Deimos spares Sig for his service, and as Jak destroy a nest of metalhead insects that have been bugging the Wastelanders. The two are spared the Spargus King's wrath, this time. Outside the city, Jak detours to the Great Volcano, where Seam says a dark artifact crashed a while back. He finds a glider left behind by Seam's doomed monk expedition. He decided to glide it to the top and investigate for himself, with Daxter as a less than enthusiastic co-pilot.
There's no way you're gonna get me on some precursor monk crap! Jak!
The duo get inside the volcano and set off exploring. They fight through monsters, avoid hot geysers, and even compete a Daxter-only challenge, all while avoiding the lava. Ah, lava. How nostalgic. Finally, the two reach the site of another dark precursor satellite, and this one's huge. It seems almost as though the satellite is organic, growing larger inside the volcano and becoming a part of the environment. Next to this massive structure is what's left of a monk holding an artifact made entirely out of dark eco. The dark eco has turned the monk to stone, and Jak worries that it might do something even worse to Daxter. Daxter pulls the crystal out, and Jak grabs it, gaining the power to turn invisible. Cool. Jak and Daxter make their way back out of the volcano and into the impressive monk temple at its base. Jak uses his new powers of invisibility to bypass the monk security system and head deeper into the temple. At its center, they find a large oracle. Next to it are Seam and Vigor, and they're having an argument. Vigor wants Seam to grant him access to some catacombs, but why? Well, we'll be finding out soon enough. Once Vigor and Seam are out of the way, Jak approaches the oracle. The statue is happy to see Jak again, and this time, Jak's not as angsty. He's ready to take on whatever he needs to save the world, which is great, because according to the oracle, the world is in serious danger.
The Dark Ones have found your world again, and fate hangs in the balance where the past and the future collide.
The Oracle tells the duo that they need all their power to go up against this new evil. The statue gives Jak the power to control light eco in addition to dark eco, making him even more powerful than before. On their way out of the temple, Jak gets contacted by Ashlyn through a communicator. They go to meet her at the oasis outside of Spargus.
You thought you'd dump me, huh? I knew you'd be back for some more orange lovin'.
Daxter, you, stop. Ashlyn rightfully completely ignores Daxter. She gives Jak the jet board and the seal of Mar from the last game, and asks him to come back to Haven City. Vigor is taking command of the city, not doing a very good job of it. Jak's response is real mature. The city exiled him, so he doesn't owe it anything. Never mind that Kira and Samos are still in there. They can die too, I guess. And here, I thought Jak was past his childish, angsty phase. Jak doesn't want to save the world anymore, but he does want to explore more of the monk temple, and with the jet board and the seal of Mar, he can. Deep inside the temple, Jak finds the catacombs that Vigor was talking about. There's a set of rails and some convenient hover cars. I wonder. Pecker finds them in the impossible to reach catacombs that somehow. How the hell did he get in there? We really don't know, but he tells them that the catacombs are the key to Haven City's survival. Well, the gang's all here now.
You boys up for a little ride?
Jak drives the little hover cars through the subrail tubes of the catacombs. He and his companions emerge on the other side into an eco mine. Jak realizes Mar must have gotten all the eco to power Haven City from this mine. Jak breaks open a path through the mines. Just like that, he's back in the ruins of the palace in Haven City. You know, you could have just hitched a ride with Ashlyn instead of doing this the hard way, Jak. Jak and Daxter aren't exactly met by the city with open arms. Instead, they walk straight into Vigor's lair. He explains that the precursors use the subrails to build the world. The rail system goes deep. like center of the planet deep. Vigor thinks that if he can get to the center of the planet, he'll be given the power to save the world, just like Mar was. He's also on a time crunch. That Daystar that Seam mentioned, it's bringing the end of the world. So Vigor may have taken a few teensy shortcuts.
I needed quick access to the catacombs below, so I attacked the palace myself.
Vigor wants to save the world with light. He might be drunk on the promise of power, but at least his heart is in the right place. Kind of. He wants to destroy all shadows and darkness, starting with the dark eco-infused Jak. Vigor commands a precursor robot to attack Jak and Daxter. They defeat the robot and head into Haven City. Jak and Daxter try to get into the city proper, but their path is blocked by a force field. Kira and Samos wait for them on the other side. Kira is weirdly quiet. Apparently, the poor girl was almost scrapped from the game entirely, because Naughty Dog couldn't get her voice actress, Anna Garduno, to voice her again. Tara Strong, best known for her work in My Little Pony, fills in for Kira's voice in Jak III. So from now on, I want you to picture Twilight Sparkle every time Kira speaks. You're welcome. Samos, on the other hand, is still the same old green tree guy. Samos tells Jak and Daxter that KG Deathbots are heading for the catacombs beneath the palace.
So the city needs me again, huh?
Yeah, you knew that already, Jak. Ashlyn literally just told you that. Come on, get it together, man. Jak and Daxter bypass the shield by going through the sewers and re-enter the city proper. Their first stop is Daxter's bar. But instead of Tess being there to greet Daxter, it's just Torn. There's a downgrade for sure. Also, the saloon has been repurposed as a southern command center for the war. Using a hologram communicator, Torn informs Ashlyn that Jak's back, but the signal is intercepted by a familiar face, Errol. It turns out that ex-Crimson Guard Commander Errol didn't die in the Zoomer crash in Jak II, and no, that is not a typo. For some reason, Errol has 2 R's in his name now. That's just how Errol's this time, I guess. Errol has gotten some robotic upgrades, is now serving as the leader of the KG Deathbot army, and he's very eager to see Jak. To save the city from the KG bot's threat, Jak has to stop Errol from producing any more of them. That means attacking the floating war factory where the bots are being made. But first, Jak needs a little more firepower. With crew out of the picture, where are they gonna go to get guns? Wait, Tess makes guns now?
It sports a multi-port, large-bore, gyro-burst launcher with blowback breach assist, using full jacket, eco-depleted armor-piercing slugs, and a continuous kill zone scanner for tight groupings at a high cycle rate of fire. It's a hobby.
Awesome. And she lets Jak have a gun, once he proves that he can handle it in her gun course. Besides the KG bots, metalheads are still very much a problem in Haven City. Jak leads an assault on a metalhead hive through the sewers. Clearing the sewers of their bug infestation opens up a path to the port through which Jak can enter the industrial section of the city. This puts him one step closer to the KG Deathbot factory. Just when things are looking up for our heroes, a new enemy approaches. The troubles in Haven City are about to look so much smaller thanks to the new threat of the Dark Ones. Jak and Daxter return to Spargus. Here, Deimos has some more fatherly words of advice and praise for Jak. Deimos mentions that he had a son who he lost in the war, so Jak lost his dad, and Deimos lost his son. Coincidence? I think not! Jak also works with Seam to retrieve an artifact stolen from the monks by a bunch of marauders. As thanks, she lets Jak keep the artifact, a precursor prism. Jak gathers up the rest of the prisms and heads over to a forest south of Haven City. Here, he finds precursor ruins with 6 pillars, one for each of the prisms. Twilight Sparkle, Kira, studied the whole contraption and figured out that there's some sort of planetary observation system. Jak activates the pillars and makes his way to the top, where he finds a telescope-like device called an astro viewer. Looking through the telescope, Jak gets a closer look at the Daystar, which looks like a creepy mechanical space tick with appendages coming out of its body. It turns out that precursors created many words, using eco to shape them like Play-Doh, I assume. But some precursors got a little too into the dark eco, and it corrupted them. These dark ones started twisting the words with their darkness.
Now the Dark Ones have found your world and are coming to claim it for themselves.
The Daystar is actually the spaceship of these Dark Ones, dubbed the Dark Maker ship, but it's not completely hopeless. The precursors have a convenient planetary defense system hidden deep inside the planet's core. This must be what Vigor was trying to get through the catacombs. Jak takes this new information to the command center where their friends are waiting for them. Now that everybody's together, they can start the plan on how to defend the city and the whole world. And the way to do that is for Jak to head down into the depths of the catacombs. Vigor crashes their planning session and suggests that he might be the better choice to head the expedition. Ashlyn has a better idea. She dissolves the city council and strips Vigor of his title and his power. Couldn't she have done that before she sent Jak into exile for betraying the city? She knew he was innocent. Vigor vows to get his payback and leaves without a fight. Anyway, back to business. Errol's deathbots are becoming a serious problem, assaulting Ashlyn's forces more and more. They can't exactly save the world when they're getting attacked all the time. But how do you get inside a murder robot factory? Jak can't run in guns blazing, but if he can find the gate codes, he may be able to unlock the factory doors and just walk right in. Jak is sent to retrieve these codes and gain entrance codes to the war factory. Once he's in, he'll be able to begin the final assault. Jak and Daxter make their way to the old control room where they found Vin in the last game. Oh yeah, whatever happened to that weird scientist guy?
He was a good guy. A bit crazy.
Hey, who you calling crazy?
When the city was overrun by metalheads, Vin uploaded his consciousness to the eco-grid. So basically, he's living in the Matrix. More importantly, Vin can help Jak and Daxter find the codes to unlock the war factory doors. He'll just upload Daxter into the system. What's the worst that could happen? Come on. Hacking into the system is apparently done by playing Pac-Man with Daxter's head. Because reasons. Daxter snags a cipher that will help the team uncover the codes to the factory. Jak and Daxter rejoin the group in the control room. With the war factory doors unlocked, they can finally get in there. Jak and Daxter fly up to the floating war factory and waltz right in through the open doors. Getting through the interior is a different matter. When you're in a murder bot factory, you're gonna have to fight a few murder bots. Eventually, Jak and Daxter board an elevator and find themselves face to face with a new and mechanically enhanced version of their old pal, Errol. Whoa, he's mostly robot at this point actually, and his robotic body makes it possible for him to communicate with the Dark Ones. They've been working together to try and rid the world of all light eco. I'm sure this was supposed to be a meaningful aha moment. Vigor wants all dark eco gone, and Errol wants all light eco gone, but really you need a balance of both, like the one that exists inside Jak. I mean, his power indicator is literally in a shape resembling a yin-yang. But really, all I can think at this point is like, why? Just why? I mean, in the last game, Errol just wanted to race and go fast, but this enhanced cyber Errol, he wants to destroy the world or rule it. I mean, he's not really sure what he's gonna even do with it. It doesn't make any sense. There's a fan theory going around that the real final boss was always supposed to be Gul Acheron. Remember him from the first game? Samas pretty heavily implied that Gul and Maya didn't actually die in the end. Instead, we get an Errol who can't even spell his own name right. Ah, man. Alright, let's just keep chugging along. It's time to take down a cyborg. Jak and Daxter battle Errol in a room that's rapidly losing floor space. When Jak finally defeats Errol, the cyborg runs away through a rift. Errol might have gotten away, but Jak still destroys the robot factory. Now they can focus on saving the world from impending dark aliens. Actually, no, not yet. Jak receives a word from Seam that Errol is attacking the monk temple. He wants their precursor secrets, so he can awaken the approaching Darkmaker ship. Jak returns to the monk temple and once again speaks with the Oracle. This time, he gets the coolest looking and most useful power yet, wings made out of light energy. With this power, he reaches the top of the temple. Seam is waiting up there, somehow despite not having cool light wings, but Jak is too late.
Errol has learned how to connect with the Darkmaker ship.
What a bummer. On his way out of the monk temple, Jak receives a distress call from Deimos. Spargus is under attack by terrifying dark eco creatures, probably created by the Darkmaker ship. Jak defends the city and is thanked by Deimos, who reveals he was once the leader of Haven City. For defending Spargus, Jak earns his final battle amulet and becomes an official citizen of Spargus City. This last battle amulet actually is special. It's a beacon that can be used to summon Deimos. Jak's next mission is to find Errol at the top of Metalhead Tower. There are no metalheads in Metalhead Tower. Go figure. But they do find Errol hanging out at the top. They're too late, again. Errol has already awakened the Darkmaker. He hops into a giant rift, destroying the entire tower behind him. Jak hitches a ride out of there with Sig. It's finally time to head for the catacombs. The best way to get there is through the palace ruins, which are currently overrun by metalheads. Jak, Daxter, and Pecker make their way to the catacombs entrance. But before they get there, Jak is ambushed by more dark, twisted creatures. Jak tries to use the Spargus City beacon, but it doesn't seem to work. Jak and Daxter prepare to meet their end. But then, Deimos smashes into the monsters in his buggy and saves the day. Jak climbs aboard, and the two plow their way through the remaining enemies in their way. Deimos and Jak reach the entrance to the catacombs. Just when they think they're safe, a surprise attack blows their car into the air. It comes crashing down, trapping Deimos under it.
I'm very proud to have been by your side in the end.
Jak cradles Deimos' head in his arms as Deimos says his final words. He reveals that his missing son's name is Mar, and he's wearing a special amulet. The same amulet that young Jak had. It's officially revealed that Jak is Mar, and he's Deimos' son. Wow, no one saw that coming. This moment is completely ruined by Vigor, who reveals that he's the one who took Jak away from his father when he was little.
I took you from Deimos, hoping to harness your eco powers for my experiments. Then I lost you to the underground.
What a creep. Vigor enters the catacombs, heading for the Precursor Core. After 3 games of being completely terrified of all action and adventure, even Daxter's had enough of this guy. He yells at Jak to go after Vigor.
It's just that nobody hurts my best friend and lives to brag about it.
Nah, Dax. What a Chad. Jak and Daxter follow the subrails down to the planet's core. At the bottom, they're greeted by a trippy and vast spacey area, with an oracle statue at the center. Jak activates the planetary defense system, but it's going to take some time to charge. While they wait, a precursor hologram offers them a reward for making making it this far. Vigor barges in and demands that he be made a precursor instead. The precursor hologram points out that if Errol awakens the Darkmaker's ship's cargo, it's going to be too late for any of them. The precursor seems to lose all sense of mysticism at this point.
Inefficient. I told you we needed a backup hero. We should have gone with Plan B.
The hologram fizzles out, and the stomach of the Oracle opens to reveal 3 Otzels? This is the most 3 kids in a trench coat reveal ever. The 3 Otzels try to save face, but there's just no coming back from this. Seriously, what? Yep, the all-powerful, all-knowing beings that harness the power of Eco and create vast structures and civilizations were little orange weasels like Daxter, one of which speaks like a surfer bro. Turns out that Daxter was actually blessed when he touched the Dark Eco, but it's hard to be taken seriously when they look like teddy bears and sound like Winnie the Pooh, so precursors embellish the truth a little.
If you knew we precursors were a bunch of little fuzzy rats, would you worship us? Could we run the universe?
The reveal breaks Vigor. Literally, the poor dude just starts twitching. He refuses to believe that these furballs could be the most powerful creatures on the planet, even when they easily restrain him in a force bubble. No, but don't worry, Vigor still gets his wish.
No!
Well, with that out of the way, it's back to serious business. Jak still has to stop Errol from awakening the darkness that sleeps inside the Darkmaker's ship, and the only way to do that is to go there himself. Okay, do we see now why this was the worst rated of the main games? Well, hang in there, we're almost done. Jak leaps through the rift and onto the ship. He has 5 minutes to get to Errol and stop him before the planetary defense system fully charges and blows the whole thing up. The ship is full of a twisted, dark, half mechanical and half organic bunch of beings. Errol's still drunk on power that he doesn't actually have yet.
All of these Darkmakers at my command. Just think what I could do.
What could you do, Errol? Because I don't think that you even know. Before they get a chance to fight, the planetary defense system boots up and fires a powerful beam at the Darkmaker's ship. Yeah, that sure stopped Errol from standing around looking at his shiny new toys. Jak escapes from the collapsing ship moments before it explodes, like the dramatic hero that he is. Jak and Daxter find themselves back in the Wasteland, but Errol's made it out too, and he's brought a massive spider-like dark mechanical contraption. Jak and Daxter take on one final boss. After an epic 4-phase fight, Jak defeats Errol once and for all. As the smoke clears, Jak and Daxter walk out of the ruins like a bunch of badasses. The metalheads are all defeated. The KG Deathbot factory is shut down, the Doom spaceship is destroyed, and both antagonists are out of the picture. Finally, it's time for Jak and Daxter's adventures to come to an end. Samos just about sums up how most of us felt playing this game.
My life's work, it turns out, was spent searching for a bunch of furballs.
Jak reveals to everybody that he's actually Mar, and prepares to go have even more adventures with the Precursors. Daxter, on the other hand, he's done with adventures. The Precursors offer to grant Daxter his deepest desire. He already has his own saloon, a great girl, and a place to call home. But you know, it's really hard to find pants in Otzel sizes. Tess loves those pants. She wishes she had a pair just like them. Looks like everybody gets what they wanted, sort of. Even Vigor the Otzel finds a loving home as Cleaver's new sidekick. Everyone looks on as Jak is whisked away by the Precursors. Then Jak walks up behind Daxter. Wait, what? Yeah, he'd rather be with his best friend than see the universe. There are plenty of adventures to have right here at home. Okay, so as far as most fans are concerned, the story of Jak and Daxter ends with Jak III. There were 3 more games in the franchise, not counting the remastered collection, but these are side stories. They're not really worth going too in-depth into. But here's a brief overview of the final 3 games in the Jak and Daxter series. Jak X Combat Racing is kind of a racing spin-off of the main series. Jak, Daxter, and a few other familiar faces are invited to the reading of Crew's will by his daughter.
Crew? Reproduced? Ew.
Crew reveals his wish to win the Crass City Grand Championship. He requests that Jak and his friends win it on his behalf. To sweeten the deal, he, poisons them. The rest of the game follows their quest to win the championship and not die. Daxter, 2006, shows what happened in the 2-year time span between when Jak and Daxter arrive in Haven City and when Daxter finally saves Jak from the fortress. The game was the first one in the series not to be developed by Naughty Dog, and you can really feel this. The story and gameplay were both pared down, and they're just more basic. Plus, it suffered from only being released on the PlayStation portable device and not a home console at all. Jak and Daxter: The Lost Frontier was supposed to be a glorious return to the series. Instead, it tanked horribly. It follows Jak and Daxter on a new adventure to find out why the world's eco supply is running out.
Relax, Dax. Could be worse.
It's worse.
For many fans, the game is a Jak and Daxter game by name alone. It lacked the spirit and the vibe of the original games, and is usually written off as just being okay. Alright, that's all folks. That was a pretty exciting ride full of time travel, evil villains, and fuzzy critters and pans. Thanks for joining me. Feel free to click on the video on screen to watch another one of our videos. Thanks for watching. See ya!